Yo, Little Crab here with the final update to my Boneshatter Jug. It's done everything it needs to do for a league start character. It made me the money I need. It's cleared the Atlas for me. It's gotten me most of my boss kills. I haven't done Ubers. It's not a great single target thing. It could do them. It's just slow. I did Uber Elder, which is required for the Void Stones. It's done Maven. It's done Cirrus. But I'm ready to transition to the next build. It's made money. It's I'm farming Delve with it. It can get through maps. It's not going to clear like Legions or Breach with speed, but you can hop through maps with Leap Slam, kill the bosses, get out, get your completion, and go back to Delve to farm. I've put out previous videos on the build. This isn't a complete build guide. I'm just going over some of the changes and some things I've done. It's a pretty simple build to follow. There's not a lot of weird mechanics interplaying with each other. I'll go over the one major one. Besides that, you can kind of just follow the POB, and it scales itself decently well on a lower budget. It just caps pretty quickly. Like, going past the 7 million DPS point is a lot of money for not a lot of return on the investment, which is why this is a great league starter. You put a little bit of money in, you're getting your 4 or 5 million DPS for cheap. Make money, switch to something else. So the weapon is a big upgrade from the last time. I grabbed an Apex Cleaver and then just threw essences at it. Deafening Essence of Contempt until I hit attack speed. I hit max roll tier 1 attack speed, and then I crafted on percent increased physical damage. You could go the other way, roll for percent increased phys, and put on craft on attack speed, or grab a fractured Despot Axe with fractured flat physical damage and accuracy. It's a hybrid mod. And then you can roll the Deafening Essence of Contempt on there for your flat fizz. Then you're rolling for attack speed or percent fizz. I think I have one I was working on. It just wasn't necessarily worth it for the cost for me because it's not a huge upgrade over the Apex Cleaver. Like, it has to be a perfect roll. But grab one of these with a fractured base. I think this was 40C. It's not 6-linked, but it's worth the money if that's the way you're going. Helmet, I'm just grabbing life and we're filling in stats. Got intelligence, and we're going for our reses, chaos, fire, lightning. Rings, you want damage taken recouped as life, and then all your res and attributes if you need any. Amulet, we're going for accuracy, and you do need at least 2 sources of non-channeling skills have reductions to total mana cost. It makes it so we can throw on Defiance Banner and still actually cast Boneshatter without struggling for mana. We have Cleaving Anointed on the amulet to get Intimidate. And yeah, accuracy. Get accuracy where you can, because we need to keep our accuracy above our health. So we're at 4001 accuracy. We need to be over our max life to benefit from precise technique. Not critting, so this is just all upside for us. The gloves, same thing. If you can get accuracy on here, it's a good spot to get it. You're going life, resistances, attack speed, and if you can get flat physical damage to attacks, look for that. Belt, stat stick. I got strength, dex, int on here. You can get a Stygian Vise. That'd be nice. I just wanted the high life we got going here, and those stats really helped clear up my passive tree. Boots, nothing special again. It's just res. The core component of this build is Fourth Vow, which makes it so armor applies to chaos damage taken from hits. Then We grab a Glorious Vanity in the name of Zibaqua to give us Divine Flesh, which is 50% of elemental damage taken as chaos damage, which double dips with Unbreakable from the Juggernaut, which is 8% of armor applies to fire, cold, and lightning damage taken from hits. We have 8% of armor applying to 50% of our elemental damage, and then the other 50% is turning into chaos, which the fourth vow also applies to. If you can get physical damage from hits taken as any elements on your helmet, there's the implicit version, and I believe there's the crafted version, which I just didn't have room for. That also double dips into there. So we're converting physical damage into elemental damage, which our armor applies to, which is then converting into chaos damage, which our armor then also applies to. So we've got 80% max all res, 81 lightning, and 80% chaos. We are very tanky. We're at like 250,000 effective HP on POB. Great for delving. Small hits are nothing. We can survive a die beam. Just don't stand in them constantly. Uber Shapers, like Channeling Blast, doesn't one-shot us. You got to get out of it relatively quickly, but you do have time to leap slam out, which is a positive for a league starter build. Not all of them can claim to do that. And most, as you can see, most of this gear is pretty cheap. It's just the fourth vow is 1.5, 2 div, and your Glorious Vanity prices may vary. They go up and down all the time, so keep an eye out for that. Generally, it's a cheap build. It just needs a weapon. That's what goes into a melee build. You need that fizz weapon. So some things I'd like to improve on if I were to continue doing this build would be getting a 6th socket on the chest piece, not 6 linked, so that I could fit in Call to Arms, which triggers War Cries, and which one is it? And Ancestral Cry, which gives us armor and melee strike range. It isn't necessary. It is just a quality of life buff. Armor's great. The melee strike range is really helpful because melee kind of blows. That's what limits your enjoyment of the build, is the range. Finding a way to fit this in would be nice, but I don't know what I would drop. Possibly Pulling Strike with the multiple totem setup. It's not necessary. It is a nice 10% DPS boost. So that's a trade-off you could do, fitting that in. You also don't need to go for the Berserk version with Warlord's Mark. You can take vulnerability, which is what I will do for single target bosses, because we're not stunning a boss to get the rage from Warlord's Mark. I will drop Berserk. I will take Warlord's Mark out of the cast when damage taken setup, and I will put vulnerability in. Then I can manually cast vulnerability on the boss. On paper, it is a DPS loss to having, 50 rage and being able to cast Berserk, but in a situation where you aren't actually getting that consistently, having vulnerability is a better option. I do have 2 previous videos. I will have a link in the description to the POB, and it's pretty straightforward to follow. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. It's a huge help for a small channel like this. And I am about to transition to my next build, and I will let you guys know what that is. So if you want to see more of that, subscribe, stick around. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Till next time.